Welcome to the fourth episode of Your Time on the Run, the Hunted Series 8 podcast from Reality TV Warriors. My name is Michael Harmstone, and joining me as always is my fellow Brit, who's the baggage we drag along with us, Anthony Williams.
Hello.
And the lady who I'm already going to guess hated the scene of Robin reuniting with his family, Michelle Pearce-Over.
Oh, it's okay because he actually turned something over on the hunters, so that's okay.
Anytime I watch any of those scenes, I go, Michelle's going to hate this. Oh, there's love on the screen. She won't enjoy that. Full caveat as well, I have seen the next two episodes after this, so I won't be making predictions probably for the rest of the series now. But what I will say is, holy shit, the next two episodes are really good.
Well, I wait.
But
I wait.
Yeah, me too. I do. I have integrity. That's the thing. If I spoil myself, I would just have to say, "Oh, I think this is going to happen."
I was waiting, but the problem I have is that Hunted HQ's Facebook page keeps spoiling me to the point I've had to unfollow it, and because Facebook's algorithm is shit, it still keeps showing me Hunted HQ pages, so I just have to kind of watch it along with the UK now.
Right.
And it's weird that you guys say you're disappointed with me for doing that, because so is Doug. I was messaging him last night.
Yeah, you've got to keep it. You've got to keep it legit. It's got to be spoiler free. Otherwise, we know that we'll just say something and then people go, you already knew that was going to happen. So I'm not going to do it.
Because Doug did message me about the fact that we couldn't work out the timeline of the series, and he was trying to be all coy about when the start date is, and I'm like, yeah, we know exactly what it is because Ant's been told it. He's like, spoil sports. Why did they tell you? I'm like, Doug, even if Ant didn't know, there is a way to work out in episode 5. And I detailed what it was, and he's like, you're already ahead? And I'm like, no, I've just watched ahead because I keep getting spoiled.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very strange though, right? So we talked about dates a lot on Sunday morning when we were recording the last episode, right? So I was doing loads of research all morning. I was trying to piece bits together, and I was throwing it into ChatGPT and saying, right, if this happened here, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. And bear in mind, at that point, that episode hasn't gone out, right? It's still being edited. That very afternoon, I got a message from one of the fugitives going, I don't know where you got May the 25th from. This is exactly the date we set off. I was like, that's weird. Let's come out of nowhere. Bizarre.
So what Doug said is, the bit you've missed from your timeline analysis is you're trusting that the dates on footage are accurate, particularly the ones on launch footage. Which is essentially the point we made for episode 3, was, we just think the launch date on the footage was wrong now. Mm-hmm. Especially as it then crops back up with other sightings on the CCTV. I will obviously get to it when we do episode 5, but there is a very sneaky way you can work out at least a 3-day range on what the start date was. But the start date, just to spoil everyone, was June the 3rd.
Yes. And then everything else falls in line, apart from one bit, but we're not even anywhere near that yet, so can't really talk about it.
So, previously the remaining 11 fugitives continued their time in the run. Shaq continued staying right under the hunters' noses, escaping from a barbershop right before they got there, and heading towards his friend Simba in Luton, who helped him move to Wolverhampton. Emma and Jenny tried to link up with Emma's in-laws to head to Scotland, but unfortunately the hunters were right behind, and they were caught at Scotch Corner. Mother and daughter Dionne Saffron tried to fool the hunters by tapping in on a bus they never intended on getting on, but a careless choice to hold their real bus ticket, as Saffron did, led Team Alpha to have eyes on and be side on as the third episode ended. I sent Ant a message when we both watched episode 4 on Sunday, just going, how did they escape that?
That was insane. I know I kind of said once they get in the airport, it's possible, but that was just so
just
lucky.
How?
I know, so lucky. And I actually thought, maybe what Ant said is going to come true. And I'm like, oh no, they're too close. They're running, and then it happened.
It was genuinely very impressive that they got away here.
Very, very impressive. Yeah, very lucky, very impressive. And it was kind of by default, right? They were trying to get off before that, probably not realizing that the airport was actually their best chance. So lucky.
So they decide to make friends with the driver and ask if they can be dropped off at the side of the road, but the driver isn't allowed to do that. They stay on until Stansted in the hope there are more options, much to HQ's disappointment. And they leave their tent and sleeping bag behind at the airport in the hope that will make them less obvious. Either that, or they're trying to get the hunters involved in a bomb scare. Because I'm sure an unattended package, even if it looks like a tent at Stansted Airport, probably isn't the best thing for them to leave.
No, don't leave things in an airport.
So Alpha lose sight of the coach as they hit traffic lights, and they get on another bus and it pulls away, and HQ are not best pleased.
They're not. There was just a minor thought. I mean, it's great that they got away because it's great for the series, but there must be tons of CCTV where those buses are coming in and out.
Yeah, and also the buses themselves have CCTV on.
Yeah, so I suspect they will pick them back up, but we're just giving them a little bit of glory for now.
I shan't comment.
Of course. See, this is why you don't do this,
working.
Michael.
Then
I
you're
know.
not doing any surmising. You're not doing anything. You're just going to say, no comment.
What I can do is what I will do, and that is predict based on what I felt at the end of that episode.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right.
Because bear in mind, I watched these 3 episodes in the space of 2 days, because I watched episode 4 and episode 5 on Sunday, because episode 4 we just said we were going to, and then episode 5 it aired. Episode 5 aired on Sunday, and then episode 6 aired on Monday. So I watched these in this, like, literally 2 days ago, at most.
Yeah. It's seriously like in Australia, for some reason they put UK Traitors on literally 3 weeks behind. So we're on episode 2, and then last week I binged all of them in one go, and then I was so confused and I was binging Hunted and that, and then something else, and I'm like, okay, I can't even start Traitors Canada because I'm going to be so confused.
I just know that if I don't keep up to date with it, with the airing order now, I'm going to get spoiled on who escapes, if anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I must be lucky that they're not popping up in my feed.
Like, I did genuinely try to just watch one a week when we were recording or whatever, and then they messed with the scheduling and made it 8 episodes, so we can't do one a week. And then I just started getting spoiled every time, and it's just, frustrating.
Alrighty.
But I feel your pain, Michelle. I'm trying to watch too many things at once at the minute. I feel like I'm going to say at any minute in the next half hour, oh, HQ are definitely going to catch Alan Carr.
See, we've talked about this over the past few weeks, and like, I had a big week last week of making sure I am up to date on everything. So I am up to date on Celebrity Traitors, and I can watch episode 7 tonight. And like, I am completely up to date on TV, apart from stuff that aired last night, like Traitors Canada. So
yeah, I can't. I just have to go with what do I need to watch next, because I can't remember where anything is up to in the world. Like, there's too much. I just can't.
There's so many Traitors fans who watched like all 50 odd series at this point, who are just moaning about Celebrity Traitors at the moment, going, it's not a real series. And it's like, no, of course it isn't. These people aren't playing up to the cameras at all. It's probably the most famous celebrity cast of anything worldwide.
I know.
Yeah,
Yours is the
they're just on the
best.
ball, aren't they?
It's the best cast. I actually love it. They have no idea what they're doing. They can't catch a traitor to save their lives, but it's so good.
I am on record as really not enjoying UK Traitors anymore, and I really enjoy Celebrity Traitors so far.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's so good.
Sorry, we're on the wrong show.
Yeah,
Back
we're
to
back to this.
Hunted. Stephen and Chris.
Traitors Talk is for another podcast. So yeah, Steve and Chris were last seen at Stansted heading towards a taxi, and that is it. Steve's social media shows he's adventurous. He loves to go camping and hiking, but Chris is more measured and cautious. And they are on a tandem trike together in Cardiff.
Yeah, I didn't know what to describe it. I called it a bike cart.
Yeah, kind of tandem trike was the best way I could describe it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's like a 2-person trike, basically.
Yeah, but they're having lots of fun.
And that's basically all we see of them until the end of this episode anyway. But Sean and Marie have been together for a really long time. They're a really close couple and rarely apart. And Sean's very competitive. He was almost a professional footballer. And George makes a joke about him being too fat to be a professional footballer now.
As they then cut to them eating fish and chips.
Yeah, in Playford. And having had a pizza the night before.
Yeah, lovely.
Shaq has been pissing HQ Hunter Giles off. The last sighting was in Lucent on the Ring doorbell going in and not leaving. He's not as smart as they're giving him credit for.
Which reminds me, Michelle, I'm going to drive around. I'll see you in 24 hours.
Oh, that would have been good.
I bet you loved it when he said that, didn't you, Michelle?
I did. I wrote it down and thought, oh, God, really? When are you going to understand what you're talking about here?
So Andrew and Robin aren't using technology. There are no leads on them. This might be the longest time that Robin has been away from his children, and Father's Day is coming up, and Ray puts his wife Phoebe's phone on monitoring.
Which they know, which I love. I love it when they're kind of like, oh, they'll do this, so we'll do this, so we'll do that. I love that.
Yeah. So they're in Wiltshire, sticking to the rural southwest. Their relationship is like an older and younger brother. Going on the run is a great opportunity for Andrew to have an adventure away from the farm. He's been working there since he was 6, and they want to make the hunters look foolish, so send them a postcard from Pitton asking if they started on the same day as them. If the hunters aren't going to hunt them, then they should hunt the hunters.
We love a bit of hunter trolling.
Yes, we do.
Superb. Now, I have something. I don't know if you spotted this as well, Michael. You probably did, because you also see these things. There was a shot of the postcard. Did you see the bit at the bottom that wasn't mentioned?
No.
So, towards the bottom of the postcard, it said, "There's a clue to where we are. Please turn over," which obviously relates to the image on the postcard. Now, they didn't pick that up in the voiceover, and when it got to HQ, they didn't pick up in it either. That's weird.
Yeah. Especially as presumably the postmark would have told them roughly the area anyway.
Yeah, but because they almost read out what it said on the postcard verbatim, apart from the one sentence that said, "There's a clue, PTO."
Yeah.
Mm.
The interesting thing is, presumably this was the day before Father's Day, which was day 11, so the day of the dead drop as well.
Oh.
Father's Day was day 12, because I've just double-checked that I'm right on the maths there. If they did that, then they probably did it after the last collection time on the Saturday, so it wouldn't have got picked up until the Monday. Then they sent it second class, which is another at least 2 days later.
Yeah.
So that postcard probably turned up about day 16 or 17.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't turn up on the day that they're claiming it, because they talk about it turning up immediately after the Father's Day sequence. Well, it didn't arrive on a Sunday.
No, and given the changes to Royal Mail this year, it probably didn't arrive on a Monday or a Tuesday either.
Probably not.
What? What's wrong with your mail?
Royal Mail's rules changed, so they don't have to deliver second class post every day now. It's every other day.
Yeah,
Right.
it's all over the
A few
place.
months ago. And yeah, even second class isn't 2 days anymore, necessarily. Which is why India calls him a cheap fucker.
Yeah. And then in this whole sequence, there's an awful lot of monkeying with timelines going on.
Yes.
An awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, after the debacle that we've had this series with trying to work out the timeline, I think I'm just giving up at this point.
I don't even think about it anymore. Like, I Googled when Father's Day was, and I see some dates, and I'm like, I'm going to let the boys talk about this.
Yeah, we know Father's Day was like day 12.
Yeah. Definitely June of 15.
We know there's at least one scene in the next episode that takes place on day 11, and we know exactly what date that was, which is June 13th. Like, other than that, I'm not sure we can really pin much on at this point in the series.
No, but in the next bit, when it's Robin and Andrew, there's a really blatant bit, but we'll get to that.
So Robin's going to ring Phoebe and say he's going home on Father's Day to see the kids, but he's actually going to go a day earlier. They want to watch the hunters using binoculars and then disappear. And HQ get the call intercept, and he says he's going to be at the end of the pier at 11 a.m. on Father's Day, and Team Delta are sent to rattle Phoebe's cage.
I thought this was interesting, because if you look at their body language, I think they know this is a ruse. And then I think they insert a bit to go, well, it could be real, just to make it look like there's something worth following up here.
Bear in mind, this is the 10th year that they have produced this show now. Maybe even 11th, because I think it might have been 2015, Series 1, actually. There is a lot of experience in that team, and I'm mainly talking about Doug at this point. They know all the ruses that are going to happen, I think. There's very little that can surprise the hunters, but the problem is, if they don't follow these leads up, and then it actually is real, they look even stupider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also they've got to take the audience on the journey, haven't they? We don't want them looking all smug and going, look, guys, it's obviously a ruse. Let's go anyway.
Yeah. So we then cut to Sean and Marie again, who are in the middle of nowhere barring at sheep. They've been together for 28 years. You'd get less for murder.
I love these guys. Oh my God, you just answered back.
They are the most Bristol people I think I've ever seen on television.
They're fabulous. They are absolutely fabulous.
Like, I wrote their name, and then I just wrote lovey-dovey beside it.
Yeah.
I bet you hate it, Michelle.
No, it was all right.
I will also say there is a subtle implication that they're not exactly wanting for cash. Because every single top that Sean wears when he's on the run is Hugo Boss.
Yeah. Unless he's been to Turkey.
Yeah. He has Hugo Boss t-shirts. He has a Hugo Boss vest in this scene. I don't think they're hurting for cash necessarily.
But they are so cute, and I do love them.
She says she met him when she was 16. They did a lot of spontaneous things, but that tailed off when they had kids. Being on the run will feel like when you got chased up the stairs by your family members.
I've never heard it described like that before.
And they need cash, so are heading to an ATM, mainly because they need their two essentials, crisps and vapes.
Absolutely. What else do you need on the run?
We then head back to Robin and Andrew, who are on their way to Robin's house to meet up with his family, planning on getting information to Phoebe and watch the hunters on Father's Day.
And they're eating fish and chips. I'm like, what are you guys doing to me? I actually have to buy fish and chips on the weekend because it's driving me crazy. I'm really craving fish and chips.
This is a series of a chippy and a cute dog, because there's a lot of cute dogs coming up as well. There's a lot of dogs in the next few episodes where I just go, oh, that's a really good dog. So Robin meets up with Phoebe and the kids, and my next note is just Michelle will hate every single second of this.
No, but you know what? I love that when he saw Phoebe and the kids, he said, "Eyes on." And I'm like, oh, that is so cool that he said that.
I love it when they do that.
I think that he may have briefed his kids before he went on the run that snitches get stitches. Because kids are going to be the weak point here, not just for the fugitives themselves and dragging them towards home, but also kids are, as I'm sure Michelle especially can vouch, incredibly honest.
Oh, they were definitely coached, and what we saw was just a reminder. So before he went on the run, he would have given them a really good talking to. Very good. And that was just a reminder. I'd love to have seen his eyes eye to eye with his children, because that would have been the telling bit.
You can 100% tell that those kids were briefed to within an inch of their lives, and he has probably promised them something very good if he wins £100,000.
Oh, yes. The boy, his smile. I love it.
So cute, isn't it? It's so cute.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time I can remember on Hunted of a kid of that age actually sticking to the plan.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. So good.
So the hunters arrive and clear the house. She says she's struggling without him, but doesn't give anything away. And Mark is now convinced, despite the fact he's been a ground hunter for 8 series at this point, that the meat is genuine.
Now let me talk about timeline here. Okay, so this is what tipped me off. So we know that Robin sees Phoebe the day before Father's Day.
Yeah.
Saturday the 14th, right? And then it appears that Mark rocks up after Robin has spoken to Phoebe.
Yep.
But what tipped me off here is Mark says it's Father's Day on Sunday.
Yes.
He would say tomorrow, right?
Yes.
And then I thought, I wonder if this sequence actually took place before Robin turns up to see Phoebe. And the big clue that tipped me off is they're all wearing different clothes. So this is not the same day. This is not Saturday. And it must be before Saturday because it's before Father's Day. So I think it's a couple of days before.
Presumably then, it's the first few days of the hunts, because the kids wouldn't be at home in June if it wasn't a weekend.
No, because they would be at school.
So that means it's probably day 4 or 5.
Or it's late afternoon.
Yeah, but it didn't look like it.
No.
It looked like they had been home all day.
Yeah.
Would have been 4, 5 o'clock.
You can kind of tell, because, I mean, the kids probably wouldn't change out of the school uniform straight away, I would guess, having been a child, for example. So I suspect it was probably the weekend before then, and it was most likely on the Sunday, because you wouldn't say Father's Day is on Sunday if it wasn't within a week, I would say.
I would concur with all of your reasoning, Your Honour.
If it was the Saturday, you'd say Father's Day is next Sunday.
Yeah.
So that probably puts that scene about day 5.
Yeah, but lovely bit of editing.
Yeah. And also, what I would say from a production standpoint is it would be foolish of the chief, whoever it is, Ray or anyone else, to not send teams to the loved ones of the fugitives almost immediately and try and get as much information off them as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's when they're going to be most vulnerable.
Yeah, and you don't need to do any groundwork. You already know that. So you might as well go straight for the leads you already know about.
Yeah. So I would suspect, given the timeline that we do know, that it probably was the first weekend that Team Delta were sent there to rattle Phoebe's cage.
And you've seen in the past that a lot of the fugitives will run off to someone they know first to pick up things like tents and supplies and stuff like that, which, quite a few do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that all of that scene was day 11, day 12.
No, you're right. And they set off on a Tuesday, so we're looking at day 5, day 6 by the first weekend, so they are going to miss them already.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it makes it a lot more interesting about their decision at the end of the episode not to go for the dead drop, because they've already got stuff in the works for that weekend. Because the dead drop was on the Saturday of Father's Day. So the day before Father's Day.
Yeah. So they were at West Pier.
Yeah, so they were at West Pier, or certainly within the area of West Pier. Probably the dead drop day was the day that they actually went to see Phoebe and the kids.
Yeah.
So, in that case, it wouldn't have made any sense for them to even try and sprint to Birmingham, because it had taken 4 or 5 hours probably from the West Country, and then have to go 4 or 5 hours back on public transport to then do their plan to fool the hunters. See, we can still do timeline analysis, even though I said I wouldn't.
It's fun.
So back to Ipswich, Sean uses an ATM, and a local suspects that he's robbing it because he's got a scarf over his face. And HQ get the ping and the CCTV footage, and Team Alpha pull up by the park where Marie is waiting for Sean to return.
Or is she?
Well, I think she
are
probably
they
was,
there at
actually.
the same time? I really highly doubt it.
They are definitely
Really?
there at the same time.
How do you know this? They didn't see anything on the drone. They normally pick up anything on the drone every time they've got a drone, and the fugitives are around, and they didn't get anything.
Yeah, there's two options here. One is the usual; they're not there at the same time, which is plausible. The other is they were in a different park. There's more than one park.
Yeah.
I will say this now. Episode 5 confirms they were in the same park. Not saying if they get caught, but they were definitely there at the same time.
Okay. Then the drone should have picked them up.
Yeah, it plays into episode 5.
This is where you are not needed, Michael, to say stuff like that.
I will teach you it's one of the rare times that they are in the same place, and we're led to believe they're in the same place.
Well, it's very strange that they didn't get it on a drone if they're exactly in the same place.
Well, it's a very big park, but
yeah, it was.
Yeah, you could see that on the map, but there was a smaller park close by, but I don't think it would have as many trees and everything.
Yeah. So, a drone's sent to Christchurch Park, as are the ground hunters, and Sean meets up with her, and she can hear a drone, and they head to the bushes. The drone then switches to infrared, and there is a suspicious shape. Sean and Marie spot Paul and Charlotte through the bushes, and they find a stranger called Angela to help get them out of the area.
Hope yours on nose.
You just want them to stick around so you can do more Bristolian accents, don't you?
Yeah, I want them to go all the way to the end, because we're going to get a catchphrase every week.
Oh my god, we won 100 grand. Can't believe it. So in West Bay, Andrew and Robin have managed to get an apartment to watch the hunters on the pier from, and they are also having a chippy. And there's even a webcam, so they don't need to use binoculars.
I know, this is incredible. The fact that it happened means it did happen, right?
Yeah.
But how? How does this happen? Like with their new contact, Ian, who happens to have a flat exactly where they wanted to, and just lets them use it, and there's a webcam. It's like, oh, what? How does this happen?
Yeah. It's just a delight.
It is. It's a joy, but I would love to know, how on earth did that sequence of events come about?
Yeah. Most importantly, as well, on the subject of the webcam, HQ also have access to the webcams and map out all of the various CCTV camera options. The hunters arrive, and Andrew and Robin spot them through the binoculars, and the drone spots the decoys.
They were quite good, though, weren't they?
They were genuinely actually very impressive.
Yes, very,
Yeah.
very good.
The hunters realise it's a decoy and there are buildings with a vantage point, and Andrew and Robin arrange with Ian to block the hunters' cars in.
I did love this bit.
And in a
So
wonderful scene,
good.
he blocks the bridge and tells them to, and I quote, "Get the police if you don't like it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you? You're not the police. Get the police if you don't like it.
Oh,
Brilliant.
good.
They escape the car park, and HQ worry that they're going to be feeling very, very smug.
They are indeed. They're correct.
And this is the point where Anila also brings HQ the postcard, and it was sent second class, the cheap fuckers. Halfway through their time on the run, the fugitives are spread across the length and breadth of the UK, and by that we mean the south of it, with no one more north than Ipswich.
I know. I was like, length? Not really. Not really. Breadth, I'll give you that. They are definitely east to west, but they are not very far north.
I do love pointing this out whenever they do that voiceover. It's like, yeah, the fugitives are spread out over the length and breadth of the UK, and they are almost invariably in the south.
Yeah. Do you think they've just got that in the library? Just play the clip of the fugitives are spread out across the length and breadth of the UK.
I presume so, yeah. So as predicted, the dead drop happens halfway through the hunt, and they're each given a message telling them a bounty of £10,000 has been left for anyone willing to risk it all. It's hidden in the Library of Birmingham in a book called Fortune Favours the Brave. Andrew and Robin, Dionne Saffron, and Sean and Marie all choose not to. Shaq, Steve, and Chris, however, do choose to go for the bounty. And Shaq says he wants the money to be able to invest in his children. He's not here for fun, he's here to win. How many motivation stuff has Shaq actually recorded? Because I'm pretty sure this is like the third or fourth different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly, they are told in the message that there are only 9 of them left.
Yes, I did notice that. That's interesting. I wonder, because obviously something like this has never happened before. That must be the first time they've ever been told how many are still on the run, I think.
It's close. I think Series 3, I think the video's still on there. On YouTube, Blex did a message halfway through that hunt saying more than half of you have already been caught.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the first time as far as I'm aware, this is the first time they've specifically said, yeah, X amount of fugitives have already been caught. And Chris says if he didn't have someone like Steve, he'd probably live a very quiet, boring life. He's the baggage that Steve drags along to have a bit of fun with. He's the ultimate guide dog, and he needs to go out and push himself. And they decide that they're going to have to split up, as Steve can't really help him much. They get to the outskirts of Birmingham, and Chris continues towards the library on his own, while Steve is left at the railway station in Dudley. And he puts on the wonderful disguise of a beekeeper's hat and a snood, and Shaq also has a disguise too.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not going to get clocked wandering around the city centre of Birmingham in a beekeeper's hat. That's not going to arouse any suspicion at all.
On a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so how did you pin the date down on this?
It comes into episode 5.
Okay, that's fine.
But there is something off the back of this that you can date it with. But I'll get to that right at the start of episode 5.
That's fine, because I watched this episode forensically, looking for date stamps, and they weren't on.
It may very well also be in episode 4, but I clocked it in episode 5. It's something to do with Steve waiting at the railway station, is what I'll tell you.
I must have missed some of this. I did. This is so sad. I did try and check when the train was delayed by that amount of time. Unfortunately, Transport for Wales trains are always late, so it did not pin it down.
There is no way in hell that you would be able to guess how I dated this episode or this day. I'll warn you now, it's something that you'll go, seriously? How do you make those leaps? But yeah, there is a way that you can kind of work it out if you know the rough. If you know that it's June, you can work it out, basically.
Okay.
So Shaq is the person who finds the right book and the £10,000, but there is also a message stuck inside the book telling him that his immediate location has been revealed to the hunters. How do you not see this coming?
Of course, it's going to tip them off. Of course it is. I did like the fact that I love that he went to the effort of putting the disguise on, which was actually very good. And they were like, yeah, they never changed their shoes. I was like, no!
So HQ immediately get the ping and identify it as Shaq, and Team Golf are in Birmingham at a sense of the library, and HQ get CCTV of him leaving the library as Chris arrives.
Which also,
I feel sad.
you should have realised.
Yeah.
Although, right, so this is just a little bit. When they get the CCTV of Shaq and they go, oh, he's gone for some money, why did they assume everyone else would be going there? Why did they not think it was one of Shaq's associates that have left the money there? Why did they assume it was a dead drop part of the game?
I wonder if dead drop was added to the rules for the hunters as well this time.
It felt like they were trying not to reveal it, and then they accidentally did by going, maybe the other fugitives will be going there too.
Or it could be something like the ping that they got of Shaq at the library said a fugitive has just picked up a dead drop from the Library of Birmingham.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah.
It could be something like that. I do know that there is not a chance in hell we're actually going to get concrete information on this because Doug was not working that day. Because he has told me that. He said he came back in the next day and was basically like, what did I miss? Shit.
But, if you got that message, there's going to be this dead drop, I wouldn't go because
No,
you don't
it's a
know
trap.
if you're going to be the first one there. And it's okay if you don't get the money. However, the hunters are going to be there. Just like, why would... I don't understand. I understand Shaq wants money, so he goes. But I don't think, Chris shouldn't have gone.
No, I agree.
Chris definitely should have gone.
So scary.
I think the only reason you go is you either think they're onto you and they're going to catch you soon, or you've had enough and you're like, do you know what? It's a bit like cashing out on a bet, right? It's just like 10 grand's better than no grand. If I get the 10 grand and then get caught, I've still won.
So, next time Shaq heads to the lakes, Dionne and Saffron get close again, and HQ plan to flush them out like rats.
Exciting times. Great episode, this.
It was. And the only non-elimination episode of the series, I think, as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Warren got in episode 1, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to get caught next week?
Chris? Of course. And then
I think Chris might get away with it.
But what's going to happen with the guy in the train station with Stephen? Like, he can't see properly. What's going to happen?
That's the question.
Yes.
I feel like Chris gets away with it. I still feel, even though they've padded it out an episode, I can't see Saffron and Dionne getting much further.
Interesting. I will say that after I watched episode 4, I was sticking to my prediction of Dionne and Saffron from every single episode so far. And I was concerned for Steve and Chris.
Yeah, I'm concerned, but again, it's the whole timeline thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have no idea how close they really are, and how close Shaq and Chris are.
But they said they had a ground hunter team in Birmingham.
Yeah, but also, as Anne will vouch, Birmingham is not a very drivable city.
No, it's not.
Especially the area around the Library of Birmingham. You can't get a car anywhere near it.
No.
Do you think Chris went in, found the book, and then just left and he escaped? That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, if Shaq and Chris are close together, that's his best option, isn't it? Because they see Shaq leave, they see Chris arrive, but they're not even there yet. Did Shaq take the book with him?
No.
No, he put it back.
So he could find the book, find it empty, see the page that says the hunters now know where you are, and get out. It all hinges on how far apart Shaq and Chris arriving was, really. I think if it's like an hour later, then the hunters will be there. If it's within 2 minutes, then the hunters aren't there.
I think it was maybe about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Was the name of the book in the message?
Yes, it was called Fortune Favours the Brave,
Right.
is what it said in the message.
Yeah.
Because I thought, my God, it's too many books.
The only information that they got from the dead drop message was you need to go to the upper balcony and find a book called Fortune Favours the Brave, which contains £10,000.
Yeah.
I think.
Which is still a bit of a needle in a haystack job, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, there's thousands of books.
If this was on The Amazing Race, geez, one of the teams would never have found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything else to say about this episode?
No, I loved it. I'm glad I'm keeping myself spoiler free, but because I'm looking forward to watching the next episode.
The next one's really good. The next two are really good, actually, but the next one is particularly very good.
Brilliant.
Wonderful.
So, thank you for listening to our Hunted recap. We'll be back this time next week to recap episode number 5. Don't forget you can contact us on pretty much every social media platform that isn't TikTok, where we are RTVWise, or you can email us and contact at rtvwise.com. Anthony's on the artist. Follow me on Twitter at Bullsboy. Michelle's Beth333, and I'm MJ Harmstone. We'll see you next week for episode 5. But for this week, your time in the run is over.
Bye.
Bye.